Hi guys, welcome back to Laura's Vintage Life. Today is a bonus video for you all, so something different to my normal weekly vlogs. Recently I did a podcast which was all about things I wish I'd known before I started my own small business, and I've had quite a few requests to record that for YouTube as well. So here I am. I've got my trusty notebook, so I've got my notes so I don't miss anything because there's quite a lot. So let's crack on with this one. So I started, So I started my business in August 2020. Believe my Etsy shop went live on the 21st. So the plan was to do digital prints and just do digital prints because I'd seen lots of other people just do that and be really successful. So let's get into what I've learned since then that I wish I'd known before I actually started my business. So, first one is do not judge yourself against other small businesses. Everybody sells different products. They're all very different. They all have different styles. They also all have different means. So some have a lot more money to put into their business, some not so much. You know, you can't judge like for like because there is no like for like. So you need to judge yourself. Sorry, really itchy nose. So you need to judge yourself against your own standards and not against what anyone else is doing. Especially because, you know what, I've now been in this August, September, October, November, December, January. Tomorrow's the 21st, so it would have been 6 months tomorrow. And to date, I've made 33 sales and I have over 1,000 followers on Instagram. But it was hard work. And there are people who have over 10,000 followers who are doing better because they've been doing it for longer. So don't judge yourself against that. And there are people who've been doing their businesses for as long as I have who've been more successful, but it's because their styles are different or the products they're selling are different. So I still can't judge myself against them. So also with not judging yourself by others is not looking at, like, I watched quite a few YouTube videos and read a few blogs of people who sold digital planners, and they were like, oh, you need to have over 400 products, you need to do X, Y and Z, it's all about the quantity, which means that you'll get the money and so on and so forth. And I listened to that and it's not true, and actually it ends up costing more than you make. So I would say you've got to think about what you're selling, not how much you're selling. Because it was bad advice that I took and listened to, and actually it didn't work for me. I'm not saying it doesn't work for other people. It may well do. It just doesn't work for me. I still have like 200 listings on my Etsy. And I've made 33 sales. So that gives you an idea of how that works with conversion rates. So another thing that I wish I'd realised is it takes at least twice as much time as you think it's going to take to do something. So whether it's listings on the Etsy or doing the product photos for Etsy or like the packaging, it's like, oh, you know, I can get the printed out, packaged and sent off really quickly. Doesn't quite go that way. It takes longer, which is good. It's because it's taking time because you want it to be perfect. You don't want to give out or send out a substandard product. You want to send out the best you can. So just remember that it will take you longer than you think. Hidden costs. Now these are the things that I kind of didn't think about. Although I knew of them, I didn't really take it all into account. So it's things like your Etsy fees and the VAT and like the packaging costs. I thought I'd done all my packaging costing. I thought, oh, it's fine. Yeah, especially at the moment where things are a bit more scarce because of COVID. Things are taking longer to travel from where they've been made to the UK and so on and so forth. Things aren't as cheap as perhaps they were before COVID, but also things aren't in as plentiful supply as they were before either. So it's thinking about things like that. And it's like every time you list on Etsy, it's 20p, which, okay, is only like 20p, but it adds up. Especially if you were doing like I was doing, you were adding hundreds of listings and then they weren't selling. I was spending out at least like £20 a month just on listings, and I wasn't getting anything to show for it, so kind of wasn't worth it in that sense. Yeah, and listings on Etsy are for 4 months. Just 4 months. So you pay 20p and it lives there for 4 months. And then you pay 20p again, which is why I've been taking a lot of time to downsize the offer I have in my shop. I'm keeping the popular ones and I'm keeping the ones I really like, but I am downsizing what is in there because it's just, there's too much that isn't selling, that's costing me money to have on there. What's the point? Do more research and then do some more. Pretty self-explanatory. Like I've wanted to buy some new materials and packaging products for my new collections coming out in February. I have spent the best part of a month researching the best places to get it from, the best quality paper to use and like the vinyl sticker paper, and asking for advice from other people for what they use, what their opinions are, and going from there, and not just going, oh, I'll get these ones off Amazon. Amazon is not always the best place to look. So bear that one in mind. Learn from others, which links into the research. So join community groups on Facebook and chat with them and use their knowledge to your advantage. You know, they've been there, they've done it, but also don't be offended if they say no, because obviously they've spent a lot of time and effort into researching it as well. So they don't necessarily just want to go, oh yeah, go use this, and then you've not had to put in the effort. Yet they've spent ages doing it. So it's finding that balance and building relationships with people. Don't just ask questions all the time without supporting them in return. So I'm really lucky that I've joined 2 Patreons since opening my business. One which is Emily Harvey Art and one which is OK Doodle, both of whom have Discord pages where all of the members, including obviously the runners, the Patreon patriarchs themselves, however you want to call it, the creators themselves are also on there, so you can ask questions, you can share knowledge, and it's great because if there's things that I've learned, then I jump on and tell them as well. And I know a few people who started their own businesses since I have, and I've been asked questions and I've been completely honest about it, and I've said what I failed at, what I haven't failed at. My next one is that I wish I'd started building up an Instagram before I opened my shop. So I had an Instagram account which I started January 2020, which was called Laura's Vintage Life, and the idea was that it would be all about my life, and it was going to be like a lifestyle page, and it would be all the vintage events I was going to go to last year, because obviously it was V-Day 75, plus it was D-Day Battle of Britain 80, so there was a lot going on. There was going to be all these different events I was going to, and of course none of that happened. But I had done some challenges on there that I'd done over lockdown, and I'd shared them on there. So I already had that page going, and I decided to just build it with that, which is why my brand name is Laura's Vintage Life, because it already existed. And so I just rolled with that. When I started, I was very keen to just go, here's a product, 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 which doesn't work because people will lose interest. You've got to keep it interesting. And I'd learned very early on to share bits of myself. So this Le Visage was on there a lot more, doing little videos on there as much as possible. I tried to do a few lives early on that just didn't get many people interested. So yeah, so the thing that I think about with Instagram is using that to build a community. And it's not just, originally when I used it, it was all about using Instagram to gain sales, which is good, but it's not the be all and end all. If you build a community, they will be the people who will like your posts, will comment on your post, will share your posts, which means that more people know about you if they feel like they are friends with you. And I'm not saying that I fake friendships, I don't, not in any way, shape or terms. Everyone that I've become friendly with on Instagram and through all the other things I've been doing, I'm genuinely friendly with. I really like them, and I love having my little conversations with them and things, and I would call them friends, even though we've not met face to face. I would call them friends, and it's having those friends that support you, that when they buy from you, they post on their stories. Just simple things like that that are a hell of a lot bigger than just getting a sale. It's building something more, and that gives me a bigger sense of, I don't know, accomplishment and satisfaction than just, oh, I've made 10 sales. I haven't made 10 sales in a day. The most I've had was 4 orders over a weekend, and that just blew my mind as it was. Yes, so build a community. Think about what you're posting. You know, show some more behind the scenes. Show how you're designing things, what you're doing, how you're packaging. You know, all those things that you think are really boring, other people find really interesting. Yeah, it still has to be cohesive. It needs to all look like it's come from the same place. So within that is keeping it on brand, which is why if you scroll back through my Instagram, you'll see that now it's very pink focused, and the pictures have a pink haze or a hue, and there's pink items in there as well. And like if I've posted something and it's got a frame around it, then it's pink. And then my secondary colour is blue, so obviously there's pink and blue because that's my logo. My logo is pink and blue with white. So those are the 3 colours that I tried to stick with as my main base, which is why I wear quite a lot of pink for my photos. Now, I like to just point out, pink is not my favourite colour. I like it. I think it fits what I'm doing really well, but it's not my favourite colour. And yeah, if you scroll through my posts, you can see how things have changed over time, and like what things used to be like and what they're like now. And like I always try to use the same filters and things, but it didn't look quite as cohesive as it does now. Start vlogging or podcasting or both straight away. I didn't start until October, November, really, doing podcasts and vlogging and YouTube videos like this one. And actually, they reach different people. Not everyone likes looking at pictures on Instagram. Not everybody's on Facebook. You know, some people just want to sit and watch a nice chill video. But also, it shows more of who you are. And I film them mainly as a diary. So my podcasts are sort of more of an audio diary. I don't know, messaging board. However you want to put it. There's kind of design, both that and my videos are all mainly designed for family and friends, especially this year where we've all had to stay home, we haven't been able to see people as much. It's my little way of sharing, this is what I'm up to and this is what I'm doing, while also doing exactly the same thing for anyone else who's interested. So if, say, one of my followers on Instagram is interested in what I'm up to, they can check it out. And I tried to make them interesting. I'm still getting used to it, still trying to like make it more exciting. I feel like a lot of it is chatty, so sorry. But doing those things builds your audience because it shows more engagement with them. It's not just posting a picture. So I'm laughing because I've put this one in big capital letters, and I remember when I did my podcast I also laughed. So I've put keep it simple, stupid. So sort of harks back to what I was saying earlier. I did too many launches. Like in October, I did a launch a week. I did 10 different prints every Friday for 5 weeks. 5 weeks. Admittedly, I wasn't working at the time, so I had the time to design, but it was just too much. And because of that, it meant things were a bit too diverse. So I'm trying to reel that in a little bit more with my designs and keeping them not on theme, that's the wrong way to put it, but more, suppose it comes back to that way, cohesive, so it all makes sense that it's all part of me. which leads me to my next point, which is SEO. Do not ignore SEO. I remember my first few products, I didn't use all my tags because I didn't really know what I was doing with it. I didn't even understand what SEO really was. I'd heard of it. I knew roughly what it was, but I didn't realise how important it was. So yeah, make sure that you use all 13 tags. You are silly if you don't. And if you can, make them more like multiple words, so like 2 or 3. You are restricted into characters, so obviously you can't do too much, but try to make them more informed rather than just red. You could put, I don't know, red planner sheet. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. I don't even know what the product is that I'm SEO in. But yeah, you need to think about it. A good source, a good source that I used was eRank, which was great for checking how good your tags were. That leads me on to the testing of them. So if you think, oh, I want to use red planner sheet, search it, see what comes up, see if it's similar things to what you're selling, and also see how many items come up, because you don't want to use something necessarily that's overused, but you don't want to use something that comes up with like nothing, because then it probably means that nobody's really searching for it, and if they're not searching for it, then there's no point having that tag. And finally, the last point I wanted to talk about was community. I wish I'd known how great and how supportive the small business community is. I've mentioned it before and I'll mention it again, but people like Gemma Illustrates, who have really publicised the community over competition phrase, which lots of people use, be it before and after. I'm not saying she's the original, it's just she was the first person that I saw use it, and it really resonated with me and everything that I'd noticed, in that we have Discord chats and we chat about all the things that are going on and we offer advice and support and help. It's so useful and helpful to have those friendships, and they are friendships. I have made quite a few friends this year, which, bearing in mind this is a year that I haven't really left the house, and yeah, I've made so many new friends. I am so grateful, and they are so supportive, and they're honest as well. They're not just like, oh, that's wonderful. They will tell you what's right, what's wrong, what they think, what they don't think. I love the fact that it's not one big competition of, well, I also sell like stickers and prints and things, so I don't want to help you and I don't want to be nice to you. It's, oh, lovely, that's brilliant. I do it this way, that way, the other way, or whatever else. So yeah, I do wish I'd realised beforehand how supportive the community was, because I probably would have actually started my store sooner, and I probably would have started doing YouTube and podcasts sooner. So that was a very waffly video about things that I now know that I wish I'd known earlier. If any of this is making... I just had a ka-ching. Oh my god. So, whoever just brought something, thank you so much. You are wonderful and I love you forever. And that is a good place to wrap up this video. So thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry if I waffled on a lot. I hope it wasn't too boring and that you learnt something. You know, trying to share my wisdom rather than dictate, lecture. So if you did like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to find out when my videos go live. So have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you on Sunday for the weekly vlog. Okay, bye!